These VR pieces really came about with the idea of what's missing in relationship and sex education and emotional education for young people, and how might a virtual reality drama plug those gaps or make it easier to facilitate or teach these kinds of topics. It's very much aimed towards young people in terms of their education. I would like it to be 14 to 18. That sounds perhaps quite young, but I absolutely think that's the right age in terms of exposure to sexual activity, and now even more so because of exposure to porn. In fact, even younger than that might be appropriate. But so young people, but also teachers and community workers who might have to talk about these kinds of issues and struggle with the articulation of them because they haven't been properly trained to deliver those kinds of things. These films are a specific scenario, but they can be applied to what I would call ambiguous consent scenarios in anybody's life, particularly in the life of young people who are just starting to find their way through this landscape and have all sorts of things to negotiate in order to find their way. So the scenario is a house party. So getting ready for a house party, going to a house party, the party itself, and then the kind of escalation in terms of contact, and then a sexual escalation, but it's not explicit. So there isn't any explicit sexual contact in it. And then coming out of that and the kind of aftermath of that. So that is from both a male and a female 17-year-old's point of view of the same experience. And the reason I decided to do it that way is, well, it's several reasons. So I'm not interested in consent scenarios being a case of blame. You know, he did this, she didn't do that. But more so, what are the reasons? So both the kind of internal reasons, but also the cultural and social reasons why young people might find themselves in a sexually ambiguous scenario where it could go to a point where afterwards one feels that there has been an assault that's happened and the other doesn't. So I'm not interested in looking at, very overt cases of rape, for example, which are a separate issue, but more how everyone can be educated towards what a healthy relationship is and what a healthy sexual interaction is.
You've spoken about the role that self-worth plays in decision-making when people are at these parties or in contact, especially in moments involving intimacy. Can you tell us a wee bit more about that?
Yeah, so certainly I brought my own experience of what I was taught to value in myself as a younger person. And also, I would say it's only been really quite recent, probably in my 40s, that I came to realize that these things are not the most important thing about you. So for lots of different reasons, a lot of us have grown up with the idea that being sexually alluring, getting that kind of attention makes us valuable, irrespective of what other qualities we might have. And there are lots of reasons for that. I mean, certainly there are social and cultural reasons around that, but there's also the gap in education from schools and from parents around emotional education, ideas of self-worth, self-value, that I think lead young people to put their value in the wrong place. And that's not to blame generations that have gone before us who haven't taught us this, because these are things that we're only learning to articulate now properly, really. So I think we're in a really good time where we've got a vocabulary for these things. We understand them better. And so I think we have a responsibility to find ways to teach them. I think in emotional education, understanding emotional self-regulation, understanding personal boundaries and the boundaries of others is really just a crucial precursor to so many things.